Welcome to Product Review Wednesdays here at MHNews. I'm your host, Matt Haslam. You might notice something different about the broadcast we're doing today. Normally, our Canon T5i is the one recording our episode, and it's actually right here in front of the camera today. So we're using a different camera, so the resolution might not be as fantastic as normal, but we do have test footage at the end of today's episode with the Canon T5i, both photos and video for you to check out, because today we're reviewing the same camera we use all the time for MHNews here, and that is the Canon T5i Rebel series. So let's get started with it. This is a fantastic, and I cannot stress that enough, a fantastic beginner DSLR. I would not call it something that you would definitely use for a pro film, or if you're going as a photographer, as a professional level photographer at the Olympics. I would not do that, but it is a great beginner DSLR, because I said it all along, I love Canon products. I have Canon printers, Canon cameras, you know, whole Canon everything. So I'm a big Canon fan. I know some people are Nikon fans and stuff like that, but you know, I say if you're going to end up having to use a Canon anyway, later on you're going to have to use something more professional like a Canon video camera or a C100 or something like that. Why not learn on a Canon product? That way you're not relearning everything when you go step up to a more professional DSLR or more professional Canon product. So if you're going to go there anyway, might as well learn on a Canon product. That way you have all the settings in your head and you understand how they work. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics, like the specs and stuff like that, because you can seriously just research that online. You can read it on the B&H website where you buy it from, or wherever you go to buy it from. So I'm not going to go into, like, this records 1920 by 1080 at 30 frames per... I'm not going to go into all that, because seriously, like, you can just research that online. That's boring for me to do. So I hear a lot of conversations online of what the best camera is to buy for a certain budget. I have this much money, how much can I... what's the best camera for me? And I don't get into those conversations too much. What I do say is I think you need a camera that's perfect for you. If, for instance, you need to shoot 4K, this camera doesn't do it. If you need to shoot longer than 30 minutes and you can't miss a single second, then this camera's not perfect for you. It's perfect for my needs at the moment. I'm not going to say it's going to be always perfect for me, but it's perfect for me at the moment, you know? I think that's important. And I also, with that, I think context is important here, because I generally use this for professional video for my clients and stuff like that. I also use it for just personal video and stuff like that, for MHNews, for different personal things I do. And go on a vacation or something like that, I take it along all the time. What I love about DSLRs is that, you know, it can be a great video camera, but it can also be a great still photography camera. So I use it on professional photo shoots, for, you know, corporate America, for like for just like stock images, for like portrait photography or something like that. I also use it on personal photography. So if I'm on vacation or if I'm out with my family, I'm going to take it along and I'm going to get a photo of my whole family, and it's really a nice camera for all that. So what I love about DSLRs is that they're very versatile. It's not just a video camera, it's not just a still photography camera, it's both. And I can take it anywhere, and it does both. With a simple click of the switch, I can go back and forth. I've used it for about 2.5 years now, so I've been able to experiment a lot. And for the Canon T5i, I really wanted to use it for a long time before reviewing it. Other products we've used for about a month before using them, but this one I wanted to use for a very long time before giving my opinion on it, because, you know, I don't feel that's right for me to give my opinion on an $850 camera without some context of what I'm saying. I need something to back it up, you know. If it's a free app or something like that, reviewing, sure, a month is good enough, but this is a big buy for some people, especially for just someone just starting out. So, you know, basically, it's a big buy, so I wanted some context there. So 2 years, I think that gives some context. What I think is great about this camera is that it's small and lightweight and it looks amateur. It's small, You know, it's very compact here. You can fit into your book bag or something like that. It's very lightweight. I mean, I expected something a lot heavier, and actually most of the weight on this right now is my accessories. So if I take those off, that just seriously took the weight in half just by doing that alone. So if I don't have all accessories on it that day, I can make this a really light camera, so it can be great to go around with me on vacation, and it doesn't break my back or, hurt my arm and my shoulder after a while. So it comes with a strap I can do that with, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. It's really solid in low light. I know some people don't like DSLRs in low light, but I sort of do. I mean, it's nice and it has good low light capabilities. I'm not going to say it doesn't shoot in night vision or something like that, and it doesn't shoot in pure darkness, but if I have a little bit dark of a set that day, it's okay. It suits its purpose, and I think if you had the lights, you can surely you should add them. But if you don't have the lights that day, it's okay to not have them. It also has autofocusing with tracking, so I can just have the video running, and I can just hit my LCD screen where I want it to focus in it, and it focuses in on that spot. And I love that about this camera. It also tracks, so if I move my head suddenly, it tracks my face and it focuses in no matter where I go, which is kind of cool. The camera I have right now setting up for video in this doesn't do that, but this one does, and I love that about it. So I can shoot an interview, and no matter what the interviewee does, I'm able to just follow him or her. That way I don't miss a single beat, and I don't have a blurry image in the end for a couple seconds. It shoots 60 frames per second at 720, which, a lot of people say that's not good enough for some things, but generally I don't do a lot of slow motion photography or videoing, a lot of high-speed shots. I don't do that often that I would need a camera for that, and when I do need a camera for that, I would probably rent one, or I would shoot in 60 frames per second, which isn't the best, but it's good enough for what I do. Again, that's where the context comes in of what I use it for, of like commercial photography, or I shoot music videos a lot of news shows, a lot of like broadcast stuff for national broadcast, a lot of car commercials. When I'm doing like a high-speed shot of a car commercial or something like that, of a car driving by, I'm probably going to choose another camera, but this is fantastic for what I generally use it for. On the photo side, it has a self-timer on it with continuous shooting. So basically, I can set it up where it can shoot. I can hit the button, and 10 seconds later, it takes its photo. That way I can get in front of the camera and part of the family photo. I love that. I hate cameras that don't allow you to do that and don't allow you to be part of the group. You had to take the photo and you're always behind it, and there's always someone missing. So I love that I can get in front of the camera, be a part of the family or my friends, and just shoot everybody in the group. But it allows me to shoot a burst and a series of 10 photos on that self-timer. That way I can get in front of the camera and it shoots 10 photos for me in a series. That way somebody's blinking or something like that, I can choose another photo, another frame of that series, and hopefully I can get one frame out of those 10 that somebody's not blinking. And actually, we're going to show you a shot we got a while back of me at a train station nearby, and for this photo, I ended up having to take, I think it was 170 some photos, using the self-timer option, 10 burst series, 17 times in order to get this one shot. That's insane, but sometimes you have to do that in photography, especially commercial photography. Get a lot of shots to get one good one, so that's sometimes how it goes, but it allows me to do that self-timer, which I love. The kit lens, which is the 18 to 55 millimeter lens, works great in studio, on interviews, or in vehicles for like, shots where you're having an actor or something like that, and you're driving down the road at the same time. So it's great in small, compact areas, studios, interviews, and in cars, and etc., etc. But I do recommend getting another lens if you're planning on shooting sports photography or weddings, and this camera's gonna be the camera in the very back, trying to zoom into everything. So if you had to zoom in, I recommend getting the 55 to 250 millimeter lens here. It zooms in to quite a focal length and allows you to do the same thing. This has image stabilization as well, which is fantastic if you're off tripod and off sticks, as they say. But the one thing I do have to warn you is the more you zoom in, the more recommended it is for you to be on a tripod, because you're going to get less of a stable shot than even with IS, image stabilization, on. The great thing I love about this is I can review my photos right on here without having to import all my photos into my computer. I can just review them on here, and if I fear something is in frame that I don't want in frame, like a light stand or something like that, I can actually just hit this very top right button right here, and I can zoom into the picture under the review option. I can zoom into the photo, and I can move it around, and that way I can zoom in very tightly to a different area to see if something's in frame that I don't want to be in frame. And I can just move that light stand out of the way and then shoot again. But that saves me a lot of time on set while I'm trying to set up my shot, especially for video and stuff like that. I'm able to just take a photo really quick and just zoom in really tightly on it. As far as the quality resolution of the photos here, I would recommend that if you're trying to shoot a photo good enough for like a 24 by 36 inch poster, this is a fantastic camera for it. But if you're trying to shoot something for a mural the size of your wall, I would say get a better camera, because it's just not good enough. This camera isn't good enough for that, but generally I only do like up to the size of a poster anyway, so it doesn't really bother me too much. The LCD screen flips out and it turns around, so I'm able to have it on a tripod in front of me, and I'm able to see on the screen exactly what I look like. So that's fantastic for me and what I use it for, and I can move it around to wherever I need at whatever angle. And I also have an HDMI output here, so I can see on another screen externally. But the bad things I see about this camera is the recording length is only 30 minutes. That's on all DSLRs, so it's not that big of a deal, but it only records up to 30 minutes, so if I have to record like an interview or something like that, I'll generally stop at 30 minutes, give the interviewee time to have a break or something like that, take a drink or whatever, and I'm able to stop it at 30, or if I have to shoot longer than 30 minutes, I'll just hit the record button really quickly again on the back here just to get the next shot. And I'll just put a bigger SD card in. The battery life on this is pretty good. This is an LP-E8 battery they're good for, so they're very specific batteries for this camera, by the way. I bought 2 extra batteries when I bought my Canon T5i, just because I go on the road a lot and I generally don't have time to go charging things, and I'm out in the forest or some of that. I don't have time, and at remote areas I don't have time to get back to an AC power supply to charge my batteries. So I have 3 of them, but they're good for about an hour of continuous video shooting at the highest video resolution. As far as still photography goes, they last a lot longer. I've actually gone 8-hour photo shoots with only 1 battery, and it still had like a quarter battery left on it. But the thing I don't like about the camera is it doesn't really show you that well of how much battery life you have left. So it doesn't show you like a percentage of how much is left of your battery. You just have to judge it a lot of times, and I thought in the settings somewhere it would have that on the menu, but it just doesn't. I'm sorry. That's something Canon left out, unfortunately. The SD card, if you have a 16 gigabyte SD card, it lasts for about 45 minutes of the highest resolution of video recording. So if you're recording 1920 by 1080, you can record for about 45 minutes. Keeping in mind that recording length of 30 minutes, if you just hit record really quickly again, you'll get about 15 minutes more on that SD card. But generally what I'll do is, if I have something over a half hour, I'll actually just stop at the 30 minutes, give my interviewee time to have a break, get a drink or something like that, and while that is happening anyway, I have to stop at 30 minutes anyway, so why not replace my battery and replace my SD card with a new one? That way I can keep going for another half hour and I don't have to worry about, because if I didn't change my battery in my SD card, I would have to stop 15 minutes later to change my SD card, and then another 15 minutes I would have to change my battery out because my battery died. So why not change them all at once? But overall, it's a great camera, and what I have to say here is it has very specific parts. Besides the battery, you have to look at your lens. Make sure you're getting an EF-S lens for it. I was researching lenses and stuff like that, and I wanted 55 to 250, but there was EF lenses out there. They're not right for your camera. You need an EF-S lens. So it's very specific, different mounts here to put onto your body of the camera. So make sure you research it before you do it. I also wanted a lens hood because I shoot a lot of outdoor stuff. So I wanted a lens hood for my LCD, and it's a very specific part here. Just research it a lot before you get it. The lens hood for your actual lens itself, it's very specific. I actually I went on Amazon, and it said perfect for Canon T5i, and bought the EW-73B. This is not right for your camera. Amazon lies. Then I went to eBay, bought the EW-60C2, said it's perfect for Canon T5i. It's not. It does not work. eBay lies. So then I went to B&H directly, where I bought the camera, and their accessory, under their accessories page on the product page, it says recommended accessories, and it says Canon EW-63C lens hood works on the Canon T5i. That actually does work. So it's EW-63C that you actually want if you want a lens hood, if you're shooting a lot of stuff outdoors, because you're going to get a lot of lens flare. Unless you want that effect, you're going to get a lot of that. So just keep that in mind. It's very specific products for accessories and stuff like that. So just make sure you're getting the right one. I know there's a battery accessory you can get that can plug this directly into a wall outlet for power. So make sure you research that. It's very specific products you're going to need for your accessories. You don't want to buy 10 of them. Luckily, I was refunded for both of these, and the companies just said to keep it because it's going to be cheaper for us to just have you keep it than take it back and stock it. But then I also bought, with the Canon T5i, when I bought it, I also bought a Bauer autofocus SFD728C flash. This is a great product. Some people are like, speed lights are all the way, and really expensive flashes for their cameras, but this one works fantastic for me. I also bought a Pocket Box Mini for the top of it. That way I can do a lot of photography while I'm out on the road and not have to carry lights with me. Overall, a great camera. I cannot say enough how much I recommend this, but again, if you have to look at what you need. If you need something that records longer than a half hour, you shoot 4K, this camera just doesn't do it. So maybe you're best off getting another camera, you know? You have to look at what you're doing. If you're doing sports photography or videoing, a lot of sporting events, probably you're going to want to get a GoPro, and rather than trying to mount this somewhere on a bike or something like that, so, or a roll bar of a car. It's not going to happen. So GoPros are much better for that. But look at what you need and see. I mean, I can only recommend this for the types of work that I do, and that's a widespread array of things, but I can only say what I know. Partner with the right accessories. This is a fantastic camera. I would recommend getting a Magnus VT3000 video tripod with it, which we did a review on, which I'll link in the description below to that episode. But overall, it's a great camera. I love this camera. It is my heart and soul most times. I baby it a lot because I love it so much. But fantastic camera, and with some of these accessories you're going to find they come with lens cleaners and stuff like that, and little rags to clean your lenses off, and so you don't really need to buy that. It comes with some of these accessories like the batteries, and the lens hood will come with one normally. So just get the Canon T5i. I love it. It's a fantastic camera. I can't recommend it enough. Thanks for joining us here today, and see us back here every Monday through Thursday for brand new episodes. Have a good one, people. You